of connectivity issue, I was supposed to start the class at 1. Due to Wi-Fi issue, I couldn't connect. I couldn't schedule the meeting, so I thought let us start from 1:30. Now, yesterday, did you get the mail, students? Did you get the materials? Yes, did you get the material, students?
No.
I mailed it. I have mailed. Nabanita, I have mailed Nabanita. Then I remember I have mailed, her mail ID was bbeautytm. I have mailed them. Okay, I think I can start with the class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so today we are going to discuss how is health psychology related to other fields. Knowledge in health psychology is greatly enriched by information from many other disciplines, including social areas, clinical, then medicine, psychiatry, pediatrics. You know now what is pediatrics? Dealing with small children, and allied fields like nursing, nutrition, pharmacology, biology, and social work. So health psychology is such a field, you know, which is related to all these disciplines. Now coming to the related fields, one is epidemiology. Epidemiology is the scientific study of the distribution and frequency of disease and injury. Okay. Now, to understand health psychology fully, we need to know the context in which health and illness exist. Research in epidemiology determine the occurrence of illness in a given population. See, like COVID-19, it is a pandemic. Yes or no? So after some day that will become, okay, let me ask Nabanita. Nabanita? Nabanita? Nabanita, can you hear me? Nabanita? Nabanita Deka? Someone please ask her to unmute. Nabanita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday I have sent you mail. Did you receive? I have sent you mail, a good document I have mailed you, this one. Then PPT I have shared. Did you get it? Paisan and I. Okay, no response. Nabanita. Okay, please, yeah. Mehek, if you
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yes, if you have received, kindly circulate amongst your friends, okay? Because I don't have everyone's mail ID. এইখিনি তোমালোকে নিজৰ ভিতৰতে circulate কৰি ল'বা, okay? Done? Thank you. So, first of all, health psychology, we are trying to study it in the context of epidemiology. Researchers in this field determine the occurrence of illness even in a given population. See, the population is, how is COVID-19 affecting the population? And organize this data in terms of when the disease or injury occurred, when it has started. It has started in the Wuhan city, right? Where? And to which age, gender, racial, or cultural group. So it is same like pandemic only. However, epidemiology is epidemic because now we have a medication for it, but still it is COVID-19 is a pandemic because it is entirely a very new virus for which there is no medication, but the concepts are alike, okay? Then they attempt to discover why specific illnesses are distributed as they are. You have probably seen the results of epidemiologists' work in the mass media. For example, news reports have described areas of the United States where lymph disease, a tick-borne illness, occurs at high level. Okay, so the role of health psychology in epidemiology will be to explain why certain diseases are prevalent only in a particular population. Like the example is this lymph disease. It is only seen in the US. Okay, it is kind of a sort, it is a type of a cancer. Now the health psychologists will try to describe why is it only restricted to US. Okay, what are its sources? What is it that this disease is mainly localized in the United States? So this will be the role of a health psychologist in the area of epidemiology. Next, coming to another discipline of importance is the public health. The field concerned with protecting, I have already mentioned a public health psychologist. I have discussed it in a PPT also, if you remember. So people who work in public health, they will be doing research, they will be taking up certain projects, they will be taking up certain programs which will include vaccination, immunization, sanitation, health education, awareness, and ways to provide community health services. They will organize some awareness campaign where the community can be sensitized about, the different lifestyles that they should adopt to prevent certain disease. This field studies health and illness in the context of a community as a social system. The success of public health programs and the way individual people react to them are of interest to health psychologists. So what the health psychologists will do here? The health psychologists will monitor the public health programs and whether the individuals in the community, how are they reacting to these programs? Whether they are finding the programs interesting, how are they taking these programs? This will be monitored by a health psychologist. Then another two fields which are closely tied with health psychologists are sociology and anthropology. Anthropology is the study of culture basically. Now sociology focuses on human social life. It examines groups or communities of people and evaluates the impact of various social factors such as mass media, population growth, epidemics, and institution. Now there is under sociology, this is the meaning of sociology. I think you have already had a paper of sociology, okay? In your BA first semester, you already know what is sociology. So under sociology comes a subfield that is known as medical sociology, which studies a wide range of issues related to health, including the impact of social relationships on the distribution of illness. See, COVID-19, again taking up the present situation, COVID-19. How do you see medical sociology there? How can you apply the concept of medical sociology in COVID? Students, can anyone tell me how do we relate, COVID-19 with sociology, medical sociology, including the impact of social relationships on the distribution of illness? This one. One way of coping up with COVID-19 is maintaining social distancing. Yes or no? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Social relationships on the distribution of illness. What is the social relationship pattern here? You have to maintain a particular distance from each one, which will help you to minimize the impact of COVID-19. Social reactions to illness. How are you socially reacting to that illness? Whether you are maintaining social distancing, you are avoiding, public places, you are avoiding going to the marketplaces and all these things. Socioeconomic factors of healthcare use and the way hospital services and medical practices are organized. All these things comes under medical sociology. Now anthropology, it is the study of human culture. Again, another field that is included under anthropology subfield is medical anthropology, which examines differences in health and healthcare. See, health disparity, we know, na? Examine differences in health and healthcare across cultures. What medical anthropology studies? See, it studies the differences in health and healthcare across different cultures. How do the nature and definition of illness vary across different cultures? How each culture has particular definition of every disease. So it basically focuses on the cultural aspects of any illness. How do people in this culture react to illness and what methods do they use to treat disease or injury? How do they structure healthcare system? These are all self-understanding, self-explanatory. If you read, you can understand. So far we have studied that the field of health psychology is closely tied to epidemiology, then public health, sociology. Under sociology, you have to describe about medical sociology, and under anthropology also you have to discuss about medical anthropology. So without the knowledge from sociology and anthropology, health psychologists would have a very narrow view. See, Whenever you are trying to describe any behavior, or you want to have a basic understanding of any behavior, you cannot exclude the context. The context could be society or it could be culture. So only everything has to be examined by taking under consideration the contextual background. So without having a proper understanding of the culture to which the patient belongs or society to which the patient belongs, you cannot have a good understanding about the patient. And therefore, if sociology and anthropology is not doesn't come under the purview of health psychologists, the branch of health psychology will be very narrow. Okay. Knowledge from sociology and anthropology gives us a broad social and cultural view of medical issues. See, every illness, if I ask you to define homosexuality, every culture will have a different definition of homosexuality. So when you meet a patient who is homosexual, you cannot ignore the culture from which he belongs to. Because if you ignore the culture, then what will happen? Your diagnosis will be wrong. Your interpretation will be wrong. Next, coming to the health related careers. If you study health psychologist, what are the careers you can opt for? So now these are some careers outside psychology. So I don't think so we need to discuss this. You just know the names, that is enough. A person who can opt for health psychology, and without the knowledge of psychology can go for, with the knowledge of psychology can become nurses and physician assistants, dietitian. All these people, they need to have a well-grounded knowledge about health. Without the knowledge about health behavior, they cannot excel in this field. Okay, so dietitian, then a physical therapist, occupational therapist, social workers. Now this is important. Why is the field of health psychology needed? What is the importance? Why do we require the field of health psychology? A number of trends within medicine, psychology, and healthcare systems have combined to make the emergence of health psychology inevitable. It is safe to say that health psychology is one of the most important developments within the field of psychology in the last 50 years. Now, the factors that has led to the development of health psychology, we are going to study now. Why people thought that health psychology should be given importance? Because initially it was the biomedical model, right, where illness was only considered from a biological point of view. Psychology has no role to play, but later on people started realizing that no, psychology has a very, very important role to play in determining health. Then came the biopsychosocial model, and with that, health psychology has gained prominent recognition. Now, what are the reasons why people had felt that health psychology is a very, very important area? So the first cause is changing patterns of illness. It is the first factor. We will discuss this. All this, then expanded healthcare services, increased medical adherence. Now let us study the first factor, that is, today we will wind up considering this first factor only. Changing patterns of illness. The most important factor giving rise to health psychology has been the change in illness pattern. See, as we discussed in our earlier lecture, until the 20th century, the major causes of illness and death in the US were, see, we are taking US because we have more data from America, okay? Health psychology is very, very advanced in US, therefore, whatever data is available with us, it is from US. Now you see here, if you see this paragraph, you can see what kind of change has taken place in the area of illness. Until the 20th century, people used to fall ill and die because of disorders like tuberculosis, pneumonia, and other infectious diseases. Now, hardly you will hear people dying of TB. You will hear people dying of pneumonia. Okay. Acute disorders are short-term medical illness, often the result of a viral or bacterial invader, and usually amenable to cure. Now, however, chronic illnesses now, see what is happening. People are dying more because of heart disease. They are having more cancer and diabetes right now. Chronic illnesses are slowly developing diseases with which people live for a long time. Now you see what is the difference between acute and chronic. Acute illness is something short-lived. It subsides after some time, like viral fever. Even COVID-19 is acute. But chronic diseases are diseases which are very long-term. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease. Once you have it, it can even, you know, uh, continue for a longer period of time. Cancer to thakiye jai, relapse is there. In most of the cases, no matter how much medication you take, relapse will be there in cancer. Heart disease also. You have to be on lifetime medication. Okay, so changing pattern of illnesses until in the earlier 20th century, people used to die mostly of acute disorders like TB, pneumonia, and other viral or bacterial infections which are acute. But now people are dying most of heart attack, cancer, diabetes. The reason could be stress is increasing now. We are living in a competitive world, where there is a lot of work pressure, where there is a lot of adjustment required, and therefore people are prone to this disease. They are smoking, they are drinking because of unhealthy lifestyle that we are leading now. Why have chronic illnesses helped span the field of health psychology? See, first, these are diseases in which social and psychological factors are implicated as causes. Now, the question arises here is that people are dying of chronic illness. Now, with the emergence of chronic illness, what is happening? With the emergence of chronic illness, the field of health psychology is also prospering. Because when you are trying to understand the concept of chronic illness, you have to take under consideration the psychological and social factors, because they have a strong implications in, say, cancer. It could be due to smoking. Smoking is again related to stress. Because I am under a lot of stress, so I smoke a lot, and because of which I have developed lung cancer. Psychological factor is strongly there, which you cannot ignore. So the increase in the rate of chronic illness has also given a hype to the field of health psychology. For example, personal health habits such as diet and smoking are implicated in the development. Just now I have mentioned this. Sexual activity is also linked with the development of, again, another important, chronic illness is acute immunodeficiency syndrome, that is AIDS. Unprotected sex. Okay, sex, engaging in sexual activity with multiple sex partners without using contraceptive. All this can result to acute immunodeficiency syndrome. Initially, the patient is tested as HIV positive. If it is not cured, then that takes the form of AIDS. Okay, so in all these chronic diseases, be it cancer, be it AIDS, be it diabetes, heart disease, psychology has a very, very important role to play. And because psychology has a very important role to play, therefore health psychology also came as a major area. Okay. Second, because people may live with chronic diseases for many years, psychological issues arise in connection with them. If I'm having cancer, I will be depressed, I will be anxious. So I need to seek the help of a health psychologist who will help me to adjust with this, who will help me to adjust with this kind of illness, which is going to, continue for a longer period of time. Then the health psychologists help those with chronic illness develop treatment regimens. A health psychologist will ensure that I take medicines on time, I follow my doctor's prescription very properly, I take proper care of myself. Again, chronic illnesses, it is not only the patient who gets affected by the cancer or diabetes, it is also the family members who also gets affected. Especially if the husband is having cancer, the wife might get affected, the children might get affected. So the health psychologist's role is also to help the family members to adjust and to relieve their stress associated with the illness of any member. Now, many people with chronic illnesses use unconventional therapies outside formal medicine. They may take psychotherapy because a cancer patient may have anxiety, depression. For this, they may go for CBT, that is cognitive behavioral therapy. They may go for, again, counseling, okay, spiritual counseling, and so on. Understanding what leads people to seek unconventional treatments and evaluating their effectiveness are also issues on which health psychologists can shed light. So, understanding what leads people to seek unconventional treatments. Okay, unconventional treatments মানে আৰু এটা বস্তু বুজা, it is using Ayurveda. You know now what is Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathic medicine, huh? Yes, we go to
Yes,
Ojha, we go to Ojha.
yes, ma'am.
So all those are unconventional therapies, So the health psychologists will also try to understand the reason behind why people are choosing those kind of unconventional treatments and evaluating their effectiveness, whether those kind of treatments are actually effective for them. Now, the field of health psychology is changing almost daily because new issues arise that require the input of psychologists. See, for example is given. New technologies now make it possible to identify the gene that contributes to many disorders. When we study cancer, when we study CVD, we will come to know that these are the genes which are responsible. Okay, just in the past 5 years, genes contributing to many diseases, including breast cancer, have been uncovered. So here also, the health psychologist has a very, very important role to play. How can we help a college student whose mother has just been diagnosed with breast cancer? Now that we have a better understanding of the genetic causes of breast cancer, we can evaluate the student's own risk factor of contracting the same disease. If my mother has breast cancer, probably I am also at risk of getting breast cancer because I also carry the same gene. So I can evaluate, I can screen my own risk factors. We can have different tests that may tell us about the student's risk of breast cancer. I may go for a testing where my risk factor will be screened. And if the results tell us that she is indeed vulnerable, then we can design early prevention plan. If through the screening process, I come to see that I am at a higher risk of developing breast cancer, then I can probably start with the treatment and can prevent myself from getting breast cancer. We can also enhance her psychological coping abilities so that her risk is further reduced. Now you see here, by listening to the word cancer itself, it is so traumatizing. When the person gets to know that, oh, I am susceptible to cancer, then you can imagine what kind of mental state the person will be going through. Now, this can also be dealt with by a health psychologist. Health psychologists also conduct research that identifies the risk factors for a disease, such as C. Health psychologists now will also carry out research which will help them to identify the sources of certain disease, like high fat diet is related to cholesterol, and cholesterol might lead to the development of cardiovascular disorder. So we can identify the risk factor. If a person is smoking, we can identify that yes, this person is at a higher risk of developing lung cancer, and also help people learn to change. Once people are educated about the risk factors, changes can be brought about by educating them about the consequences of those unhealthy behavior, that if you don't quit smoking, you will soon going to suffer from lung cancer. Helping people make informed, appropriate decisions is fundamentally a psychological task, which no one but a health psychologist can do. Helping people make, advances in genetic research have made it possible to identify carriers of illness and to test the fetus for the presence of a C. Now, genetic research has advanced so much that it is also possible to test whether the fetus, that is the baby in the mother's womb, which we call the fetus, whether it is also carrying some illnesses or not from the mother. That also can be localized. This places some parents in the position of having to decide whether to abort a pregnancy or wrenching, difficult decision to make. Now, suppose if there is a 5-month anomaly scan, okay, if it is detected that the child is having Down syndrome, then it can be informed to the parents that, see, your child is having Down syndrome. So whether you want to continue with the pregnancy or to abort, whether even though abortion is a very tough decision, but you know, it will save the patient's life, sorry, it will save the parents from giving birth to a child who is having Down syndrome. It can reduce their stress. Certain treatments that may prolong life have the effect of severely compromising quality of life. Increasingly, patients are asked their preferences regarding life-sustaining measures, and they may require counseling in these matters. Say if a person knows that he or she is having cancer and he or she has to go for chemotherapy, the person will require counseling. Why? Because chemotherapy has so much of side effects. The person has to suffer from hair loss, there will be loss in appetite, there might be nausea, headache, and there are many side effects, you know, which are very unpleasant. And the patient has to adjust with all this. So they require counseling from time to time. These are just a few examples of the increasing role that patients play in fundamental decisions regarding their health and illness, and its management and of health psychologists can provide. So here we have discussed the different patterns of illness and what role a health psychologist can play in enabling the patient to deal effectively with these illnesses. Okay, so next is expanded healthcare services. I think I will continue this in the next class. Can you all please type your attendance? Chaya Gogoi, are you present? Chaya Gogoi? Chaya Gogoi, are you present? Poonam? Poonam?
Ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Yeah, Purnima is present. Rahul? Rahul Haloy? Rahul? Absent. Mehek, you're present. Lucy? Present, I think. Then one
Present, ma'am.
name, I can't pronounce it. She's absent. Sukanya Hazarika present. Rinki present. Krishnashri present ne.
Present, ma'am.
Navanita Deka present.
Present, ma'am.
Dicky
Present, ma'am.
Chuba,
Yes, ma'am.
Ivan,
Present.
don't know how to pronounce this. Ivan,
Present, ma'am.
how do you spell it?
Present, ma'am.
Yes, how do you spell it?
Ivan Dalin.
Okay, Ivan Dalin.
Ivan Dalin.
Yes, I got it. Krishnamoni, excellent. Priyanuj Hazarika, absent. Madhushmita Buragohai, present.
Present, ma'am.
Yes.
Present.
Okay, the next factor that has given rise to the rise of health psychology is the expanded healthcare services. Another set of factors that has contributed to the rise of health psychology relates to the expansion of healthcare services. See, healthcare is the largest service industry in US. It is known for its healthcare system, and it is still growing rapidly. Americans spend so much money annually on health. More than 14% of their total income is being spent on their health. In recent years, the healthcare industry has come under increasing scrutiny as we have realized that massive increases in healthcare costs have not brought with them improvement in basic indicators. See, the healthcare cost system is increasing, but the quality of health is still not being improved. Are you getting my point? Huh? It is seen Rahul Haloi. Should I give you attendance, Rahul Haloi? You have joined so late. Now we are about to wind up our class. Rahul, please be on time, okay? From the next time, please. In recent years, ki hoise chua, healthcare industry has come under increasing scrutiny because healthcare costs are increasing. But improvements in the quality of health is still, not considerable. Moreover, huge disparities exist in the US. That is, some people are enjoying healthcare facilities while some others are not being able to access this healthcare facilities. So there is still a huge disparity. Health psychology represents an important perspectives on these issues for several reasons. Because cost containment is so important, health psychologists' main emphasis on prevention. See, since people are spending almost 14% of their total income, so what a health psychologist will do? The health psychologist will prevent the person from falling sick. If you do not fall sick, what will happen? You will not go to hospital. Definitely your expenditure will come down. Yes or no?
Sorry, ma'am, my network was bad, so I could not join.
Okay. Health psychology represents and see. Did you understand this? How a health psychologist is helping? They will help the person from prevention. How? By helping the people to give up their ill habits. When you are, suppose you're smoking, so you are at an increasing risk of lung cancer. And if you get lung cancer, you are going to spend a lot of money in your treatment. So what will be the role of a health psychologist here? The health psychologist will help you not to fall sick. It will help you. It will prevent you from getting lung cancer. Okay? How? By helping you to correct your unhealthy behavior, that is smoking. When you give up this ill habit, your life will be healthy and you are not going to spend money on medicines and treatment. Next, health psychologists have done substantial research on what makes people satisfied or dissatisfied with their healthcare. Thus, they can help in the design of user-friendly healthcare systems. So, on the basis of their research, through which they are able to find out what is the satisfaction and dissatisfaction of patients with the healthcare system, they can design a user-friendly healthcare system. Finally, the healthcare industry employs many millions of individuals in a variety of jobs. Nearly every individual in the country has direct contact with the healthcare system as a recipient of services. Thus, its impact on people is enormous. For all these reasons, health has a substantial social and psychological impact on people, and an impact that is addressed by health psychologists. So, when you are studying all this, you cannot ignore the role of a health psychologist. So that's all for today. We shall continue in the next class. Okay, students, thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.